Hello once again from the channel Held Dominance, Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and if you want to see more. Coming up in this episode, we have results and scorers from an NRL game with big repercussions for the playoffs. Will Smith will not be at home next season, and a Wigan legend retires. So we start today's episode with the news that Wigan Warriors have announced that club captain Thomas Leuluai will retire at the end of the 2022 season and become an assistant coach for 2023 and beyond. After 20 years as a successful rugby league professional, Leuluai, who's now 37, will hang up his boots following the conclusion of the campaign. Leuluai is due to return from injury and is set to feature for Wigan before the end of the season as he looks to end his career in the pursuit of a third Betfred Super League Grand Final trophy. He will become an assistant coach and join head coach Matty Peepert and former teammate and also assistant coach Sean O'Loughlin on the coaching team. Leuluai will lead out New Zealand in their World Cup warm-up match against Leeds Rhinos at Headingley Stadium on Saturday, October the 8th. He will represent his country for one final time before joining the coaching team for the tournament. A versatile player throughout his entire career playing in the halves or at hooker, Leuluai joined London Broncos in 2005 and made 40 appearances for the club before signing for Wigan and making his debut in February 2017 against Wigan Warriors. After becoming a World Cup winner with the Kiwis in 2008, Leuluai went on to win his first trophies at club level, winning the 2010 League Leaders' Shield and the Super League Grand Final, as well as the Harry Sutherland Trophy for his Man of Steel display against St Helens. Leuluai has won 2 more trophies with Wigan, scoring a crucial try in the 2011 Challenge Cup final victory over Leeds Rhinos, before helping the Warriors to another League Leaders' Shield in 2012, the final year of his first stint at Wigan Warriors. He rejoined the New Zealand Warriors in 2013 and stayed there for 4 years, playing 64 games. Leuluai then went on to rejoin Wigan Warriors in 2017 and played a key role in guiding their club to win the World Club Challenge for a record 4th time against Cronulla Sharks. A year after, he claimed the second grand final of his career and a winner's ring after victory against Warrington at Old Trafford. In 2020, and in the absence of club captain Sean O'Loughlin, Leuluai captained the team to the League Leaders' Shield for his and Wigan's 3rd time. Leuluai deservedly took over the captaincy following O'Loughlin's retirement, but was just limited to 13 games in 2021 due to a hamstring injury. He entered his 12th season with the Jerry and Whites in 2022 as captain again, and led them to the Challenge Cup for a record-breaking 20th time. In his 12 seasons with the Wigan Warriors, he has earned himself a place in Warriors folklore, having played 325 games, scoring 74 tries and winning 8 major honours. On the announcement, Thomas Leuluai said, "It's been an incredible journey. Back in 2003, when I made my debut for the New Zealand Warriors, I never thought I'd be writing this 20 years later. When players and teammates around me retired, I often wondered how they knew it was the right time to do so. But I can honestly say I feel so content with my own decision, and it's true what they say. You know when it's time. I look back through the years and I feel incredibly grateful for everything that rugby league has given me. There have been wonderful times on the field and amazing times off it. I've loved them all. But without a doubt, the best thing rugby league has given me is friendships that I've made. I have to give a special mention to the Wigan fans that have taken me in like one of their own. You are what makes the club such a special team to play for. It's been a privilege to represent your team and your town. To all my teammates, I can't thank you enough. I've loved going into battle with you. I've also loved all the great times we've had off the field. There are so many great memories that I will cherish forever. One of the people that knew Leuluai for the longest time in rugby league is Wigan chairman Ian Lennon, and he went on to say, "I'm delighted to have been associated with Tommy throughout his career at London Broncos, Harlequins and at Wigan, and to have watched him develop from being a talented young player to a seasoned New Zealand international, and then going on to be a mature leader and captain in his few years at Wigan. I'm not sure whether he'll be better remembered for his bone-crushing hits on big forwards or for his exquisite long pass in the 2022 Challenge Cup final, which led directly to Wigan's match-winning try. Either way, Tommy Leuluai will be long remembered and feted by Wigan fans as a player before he even begins what I'm sure will be a highly successful coaching career." Executive Director Chris Radlinski said about the player, "Thomas Leuluai will go down as one of Super League's greatest players. He is a fearless competitor who leaves everything on the rugby league field. We are all aware of his defensive and passing skills, but his presence on the field and in training environment is what we will miss the most. He's also a great thinker of the sport. During his most recent injury, I took him away from the afternoon with Matt Beat, where we just talked about the game, the training, and the physical and psychological challenges that the sport presents. It was incredibly rewarding to get such an insight from one of the most decorated players in the game." In one of the best quotes from Matty Peet, "I personally owe him so much to him for the support and guidance he has given me as a player, captain and as a friend, and for that I say a massive thank you. Thomas has all the attributes to make an outstanding coach. He will bring so much to our coaching team, and I'm excited to work with him during the next stage of his career." Next came Sean O'Loughlin. "Tommy is a rugby league great. I absolutely love playing alongside him. To have a player with that skill set to open up the best defences and then back it up with hits that front rowers will be proud of is unprecedented. I feel honoured to have stepped foot on the field with him and, in his final seasons, the opportunity to coach him." Next up was former coaches. First of all, Sean Wayne. "I love working with him. He is one of the toughest and fiercest competitors of the modern era in rugby league. He is a legendary bloke off the field too. He has been terrific servant for the Warriors on both sides of the world. He will be a great coach. I wish him all the best in what's next." And also finally is the former Wigan head coach and current New Zealand head coach, Michael Maguire. "I was fortunate to coach Tommy in 2010 and 2011. He, along with a great group of men, transformed the Wigan team into a force over the last 10 years. Tommy has been one of the mainstays, winning Super League and Challenge Cup trophies. Tommy is a great Kiwi player who all players loved playing with. I look forward to reuniting with Tommy at the end of this season, being part of the Kiwi World Cup campaign." Next, we have the news that Brett Hodgson has revealed that Hull FC utility back Will Smith will be returning home after the season finished. The 30-year-old has spent the last month with Hull before heading back home next week. Smith has played 6 times for the Black and White so far, having made his debut at Toulouse at the end of July. He has scored 2 tries in that time, but a short-term deal was exactly that, with Smith leaving the UK next week and linking up with his family again after Saturday's final game against Hull KR. In a statement, it said, "Will won't be continuing here with next year." Hodgson explained, "Will is going back to Australia after the season ends, and it's always our understanding, as it is Will's, that he would come here and contribute the best he could for this period of the season. He's got a family back in Australia, and that's important to him. He'll be leaving with our thanks and our blessing pretty much in the middle of next week. Hodgson has been pleased with Smith's efforts since arriving at the club, with the utility being exactly that, featuring at halfback, fullback and briefly a centering spell here. Off the field, Hodgson also said that the former Penrith, Parramatta and Gold Coast player has been a positive influence on the group, who have needed bodies and experience during a substantial period with injuries in the second half of the season. Will has been good in many moments, Hodgson continued. He actually has done well in leadership with some of things he has said off the field as well. I think regardless of the result, he would have liked to have won a few more games, as we all would, but he's enjoyed his time here. He's a good boy, and he's worked hard, and we thank him. I would have probably guessed that the change of direction with Tex Hoy coming into the club for 2023 as a direct opposition, being that he is younger than Smith in rugby terms, and much more to develop. He's a fullback, halfback, and sometimes centre as well. So he's going to be possibly a better fit for Hull, but time will tell on that front. I'm not sure what's next for the former Parramatta man, as there has been no comments in regards to him joining another NRL club, but the 30-year-old Newcastle native, who has played for Penrith Panthers as well as the Eels and this year for Gold Coast Titans, means that he has some pedigree around him and still has a one-year deal at Gold Coast. But that West Tigers contract was sort of put on hold after he left the club on compassionate leave and came back to rugby league with Hull FC. So that move might not be an option. We'll have to see what comes about with him, but we wish him good luck and thank you for his short spell in Super League. Well, this is the last part of the episode, and we've made it to the end of the season, as both the Northern Hemisphere and Southern Hemisphere's Premier competitions are in the final round of the regular season. It's been trials and tribulations all the way through, but still games to play and still points to be won for important places in the league. So, with one round to go, here is what the ladder looks like. Penrith Panthers, top of the tree, and going to the finals. A well-rested team. We'll talk about that when their game comes up. But it's Cronulla Sharks who are hanging on to that second spot, and a win will see them cement that spot. But they've still got late pressure of North Queensland Cowboys, who are looking ahead of them and behind them, with Melbourne Storm and the Parramatta Eels both being on 32 points apiece. So a win for the Cowboys is a must, so that they can either be in second, if Sharks slip up, or third come the end of the weekend. They don't want to be in fifth. The Roosters, though, have still got their sights and a chance of reaching the fourth place, being there in sixth, but they face the Rabbitohs, which means they could either slide down the table or move up at the table in this Sydney derby. Canberra Raiders are looking to cement that 8th spot in the finals, as the Brisbane Broncos, who have slipped out and are looking desperate for a win so that they can get into the playoffs. No matter what happens, though, the Broncos have had a successful season compared to last year's. St George Illawarra Dragons are cemented in 10th spot, but the Manly Seagulls have had a disappointing year as well, cemented in 11th, but they do not want to lose this weekend. There's a fight out for 12th place, which is probably the most intriguing part of the season, because all three can lose and all three can win their games. Canterbury Bulldogs, Newcastle Knights and New Zealand Warriors all hold those places, but the points differential seems a very hard task for the New Zealand Warriors to come out with anything. Then the fight of the bottom place. At the end of this weekend, the Gold Coast Titans could move up 2 places or be at the bottom of the table, where a win would only be enough if Gold Coast lose or West Tigers to avoid the wooden spoon. So here are the games in question. Today's game, Parramatta Eels versus Melbourne Storm. We'll talk about that in a few moments. Before Canterbury Bulldogs face Manly Sea Eagles and the Sydney Derby being played on Friday. Saturday sees 3 games. New Zealand Warriors could do the West Tigers a favour by beating Gold Coast Titans, but the Titans have done well in the last 3 games, considering they've won 1, lost 2, but the scorelines are close. St George Illawarra could put a pay to any dreams that the Broncos have of getting into the playoffs if they are to win at home. North Queensland Cowboys face Penrith Panthers. And that's going to be an intriguing one for a couple of reasons. We'll talk about that Saturday. Sunday's games, when the round closes, we see Newcastle Knights take on Cronulla Sharks and West Tigers versus Canberra Raiders. So let's get into Thursday's game then. The Eels get a golden opportunity to climb into the top 4 and earn a double chance in the playoff picture. We'll talk about that when the round's done. If they can knock off the Storm in a mouth-watering Thursday night clash at CommBank Stadium. Parramatta's win over the Broncos took them to 32 competition points, equal with the Storm, who lost to the Roosters, so the winner of this match is guaranteed 2 pints of the cherry in the finals. Both sides have shown enough recently to suggest that they can mount a serious challenge for the title, and the winners of Thursday night's game take a huge momentum into September's playoff picture. The atmosphere at the CommBank Stadium will be electric as the Eels look to make it 2 wins over the Storm for the season after scraping home 28 points to 24 back in round 3 at Melbourne. So here are the 2 teams that the coaches have called out. Regan Campbell-Gillard was found guilty of a dangerous contact charge at the judiciary on Tuesday night, but is free to play this week as he faces a fine only for the Eels. The Eels came through their win over Brisbane unscathed, as Brad Arthur has the luxury of naming the same 17 for the shot at the top 4 spot. There were no changes to the Eels in the 24-hour update on Wednesday night. A huge blow for the Storm, with Jerome Hughes ruled out for the clash. Cooper Johns will come into the side at halfback to partner Cameron Munster in the halves, with Nick Meaney named at fullback up front. Felice Kafusi returns to the second row, with Tui Kamikamacha going to the bench. Josh King has been named to start at lock, and Brandon Smith is on interchange, but they could well swap on game day as per last week's late change. So, let's see how the game gets on. Well, it was the Eels' day as they came out 22 points to 14 victors over the Melbourne Storm at CommBank Stadium. Dylan Brown got over on the 12th minute before Will Penasini scored just after half-time. There was a penalty just before half-time on the 30th minute, which Mitchell Moses converted. Then it was Maker Sevo who got the 3rd Eels try to close out the point scoring for the, almost, for the Eels, as Mitchell Moses scored on the 71st minute, another penalty. Harry Grant scored on the 66th minute, a try in response for the Melbourne Storm, But despite a couple of late tries, Nick Meaney on the 76th and David Nufaluma scoring on the 78th, only a Nick Meaney conversion once what saw the Storm come anywhere near the Eels in this tight affair. The Eels go on to a double jeopardy type of playoff position after beating the Storm. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking that notification bell for any updates on new videos that may be coming your way. Tell me what your thoughts are of today's episode in the comments below, and if you have any favourite Thomas Leuluai incidents and moments that you could call upon to remember the great man. I call him great because he's one of my favourite players, must admit. Smallest guy on the field, but he could chop down the biggest timber like a lumberjack. I know, timber comes from trees after the lumberjack has gone. But hey ho, that's just my analogy. So, any comments, please put them below. But please be civil with it. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. I will now wish you all the best, so please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.